In 1993, Ligeti went by bike to breakfast. But then there was a huge storm, and the wind was so violent that he had the feeling he could never make it up the hill home. And he was thinking to all the people who could lose their home or their lives in the storm. And we can find, I think, both these feelings in his 13th Étude, L'escalier du diable, his personal feeling of a constant and immense but hopeless effort, and the humanities' struggle in vain. Ligeti loved mathematics, and he had a great admiration for the famous mathematician Benoit Mandelbrot. Mandelbrot gave the denomination of Devil's Staircase to the so-called Cantor's and Lebesgue's mathematical function. And it's interesting to look at the curve of this function. It seems to be a simplification, of course, of a scheme of the form of the piece by Ligeti. In L'Escalier du Diable, we feel and we see the composer trying to climb up, well, the piano's staircase, step by step, note by note. And so on and so on. And what happens then when we are, well, at the top of the hill, if I can say so? Well, it starts again and again, like in a spiral, reminding us the beloved Maurice Escher, endless staircases that fascinated Ligeti so much. We shall leave the experiment of these Escher staircases. For instance, when it seems that we achieved a goal, but when we realize that we start again climbing up the same staircase. An edge in our climb will be the instrumental border. There is a passage in the center of this etude where both ends climb on a parallel way. Now there is a moment when they are still parallel but much higher, and quite soon the right hand will achieve the border of the instrument and can't play higher, of course. But the left hand goes on and on until it joins the right hand, and then there is this kind of desperate situation where both hands are completely blocked by the limit, the border, the edge of the keyboard. So that's a kind of terrible and tragic result of this process. Like most of the Ligeti etudes, L'Escalier du Diable is an étude de rythme, a rhythmical etude. On what is it based? A very simple rhythmical organization. 2 notes, 2 notes, 3 notes. And then he repeats the same thing, but instead of twice 2 and 1 times 3, he adds a 2. So we had 3 times 2, 1 times 3. Taka, 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 ta-da-da. Now that makes a twice 2, 1 times 3, thrice 2, 1 times 3. that's a pattern. And he repeats the pattern. So we get but now it would be too easy, too symmetrical, too square-like to repeat this same symmetrical pattern all the time long. So as he had added in the local first sequence a small 2 at the start, he adds a twice 2 at the end of this big pattern. And then he repeats the entirety. And then he starts again. So how to create a polyrhythm? That means which other rhythm to add that will create an interesting rhythmical combination with our pattern. There are many possibilities, of course. One of them is to put the notes between the notes of the pattern, to put an accent on the syncopations. Instead of 2, 2, 2, 3, you say 2, 2, 2, 3. Another possibility is to create an original rhythm that will be combined on an unexpected way with our pattern. We shall hear the pattern first, and then a free solo with accents that will create interesting rhythms. Another way is to change the pattern, to modify it, and to superimpose another modification of the basic pattern. So let's say left hand. So 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, etc. And the right hand. 2, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, etc. Let's hear now the polyrhythm in this kind of mechanical ballet. We could maybe say that this way to work with a polyrhythm is a way to disturb the basic pattern, to create a kind of rhythmical anxiety of different kinds all the piece through. So the piece is about a constant effort that never results in anything. They are Ligeti words. And where does it lead us? Well, nowhere, in fact, or to the final apocalypse. Or, says Ligeti, thinking to Kafka, well, we are never being able to enter the castle because we arrive too late or we even never arrive. But on the way to this castle, we'll go through many different situations. And the imagination of Ligeti, the endless imagination of Ligeti, makes that this staircase will be musically materialized through very different kinds of sound situations. For instance, a kind of orchestra of keyboard instruments, xylophones, glockenspiel, and many others. Or a mad orchestra of huge bells. Or an organ that let us think a little to Volumina, the piece for solo organ by Ligeti.